Good morning, welcome to Morning Maths. We're now day 13. You just need pencil and paper. Copy me if you need to. Go faster than me if you can. Question 1 in year 3. Value of the 7 in 701. 1's in the units columns, or 1's column. 0's in the tens. 7's in the hundreds. There are hats, we might call them. 701. There's a picture of that up here. I've had to make the hundreds small pictures to fit them all on. So there's a picture of 701. You can see that there's 7 of those big red hundreds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And one tiny little 1. What's the value of the 7? 7 hundredths. So our answer is 7 hundredths. This is how we spell hundreds. Now we've done this quite a few times. Hopefully most of you can spell hundreds now. If not, just keep copying it. 7 hundredths. In digits, 7, 0, 0. There's our answer to question 1. Let's move on to question 2. Question 2 is very much like what we did yesterday with our addition. 84 plus 10. When you're doing 84 and you're adding 10, you only have to change the tens column. I'm sure some of you know what it is, because 4's in the units, 8 is in the tens, 0 is in the units, 1 is in the tens. So nothing is going to happen to the units column. It's still going to be a 4. But 1 is going to get added to the tens column. So tens, instead of being 8, it goes up 1, it goes to 9. And the unit stays as 4. 84 plus 10 is 94. Or you can use a column method for it. 84 plus 10 is 94. So some of you will just know the answer straight away. Others will maybe do column method to find 84 plus 10 is 94. Let's move on to question 3. Make sure you keep up with the copying. I'll do question 3 over here in case you're a bit behind. 5 minus 4. It's not too difficult. So we've got 5. It's like having 5 sweets. You give away 4. Got 5. I give away 1, 2, 3, 4. I've only got 1 left. If you have 5 of something and you give away 4, you will only have 1 left. We'll move on to question 4. More times tables. 6 times 5. You've got 6 of something, but you haven't just got 6 of something. You've got 6 of something 5 times. So you've actually got a lot of something, if that makes sense. Just move my work over a little. Let's move it there. So 6 times 5. One way we can do it is we can sing our 6's 5 times, or we can sing our 5's 6 times. You can do it either way around. So in year 3, we know our 5's, or we're learning our 5's. So we'll sing our 5's up to 6 fingers. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. When I got to 6 fingers, I was singing 30, because 5 times 6, or 6 times 5 equals 30. Question 5. 9 divided by 3. I'll share out 9 between 3. So I'll get 9 of something. 1, 2, 3, or they're small today. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to share them into 3 groups. One group can go here. One group, let's done that again. One group in the middle here, and one group over here. So let's put, if these are going to stay together, let's put those in the middle. So we have to put 2 on the other groups as well, because we just have to be fair when we're sharing out, when we're doing divide. We share out fairly. So 9 divided by 3. How many in each group? I'm sure you can see. 1, 2, 3. 9 divided by 3 equals 3. And we're on year 4 level question 6. So let's get going with that. Question 6. I'm going to get the right pen right. What's question 6? Value of the 8 in 8,527. It's worth 8,000, isn't it? I'm sure some of you are writing it already. It's not units, it's not tens, it's not hundreds, it's thousands. So the answer is 8,000s in words. 8,000s. In digits or figures, 8,000. Figures is another name for digits. You might see that in a test. Let's move on to question 7. 458 plus 983. Don't have to have the biggest number on the top in plus. Can if you want. I usually do, but I didn't this time. Units, tens and hundreds if you like. 8 plus 3 is 11. Carried a 1. 5 plus 8 is 13. Plus 1 is 14. Make sure it says 14, not 41. Well, this part here, I know there's 41 in the end, but this part here should say 14. 4 plus 9 is 13, plus 1 is 14. 1,441 we get for our answer. And let's go on to question 8. 470 take away 234. 470 take away 234. Okay, units, tens, hundreds. 0 take away 4 we can't do. Let's get some help from next door. 7 goes down to a 6. Lends a 1. 10 take away 4 is 6. 6 take away 3 is 3. 4 take away 2 is 2. 236. Just checking that. I'm happy with that. And we can go on to question 9. Grid method for 38 multiplied by 4. Multiplied by, of course, means times. 38 splits up into its parts, partitions into 30 and 8. Times that by 4. 4 times 3 is 12. Place a 0. 4 times 8 is 32. So we get 100 plus 32. We've got to put them together at the end. 120 plus 32 is 152. That's our answer, 152. Let's move on to the last question in year 4, or at year 4 level. So some year 4s will go past this. Some year 5s are warming up on this. 140 divided by 7. There's different ways of doing this. I know, for example, that 140 looks a bit like 14, doesn't it? I know that 14 divided by 7 is 2. Now, if you know that, but this isn't 14 divided by 7, which is 2. This is 140 divided by 7, which is not 2, it's 20. So you might understand how to do it that way. If not, you could use the bus stop. 140 divided by 7. 7 into 14 is 2. Place a 0. Either way, the answer is definitely 20. And we're on question 11. Value of the 6 in 6 million and something. It's definitely going to be 6 million, isn't it? Because you say it as soon as you start saying the number. 6 million. I'll teach you how to say this number, though. It can be a bit tricky, this one, if you're not sure. Commas go 3 from the end. This is 6 million. You say it like this. 6 million 70, just say 70,485. 6,070,485. But what is the 6 worth? It's worth 6 millions. So that's our answer on this question, 6 millions. It's good to know how to write a number as big as 6 million. And it's like this, 6, and you change everything else to zeros. It's a good little trick in a test or something. If you've just got to find the value of the 6, you can put the 6 under their 6 and then place zeros to the end, and you see that you can write 6 million like that. 6 million, nothing else to say. Let's go to question 12. 500 more than. We're still on the more than questions. Some of you are wondering when it's going to change. We'll see. Won't be long, surely now. 500 more than 1,999. So that's a plus, of course. Or easy plus. These 9s just stay as 9s because we added 0. 9 plus 5, though, is 14. We get 2,499. That definitely makes sense. Keep up with the copying. We're on question 13 next. We have quite a big number, 2,000. Take away a very small number. So just be careful with your lining up. 2,000, take away 31 that goes over here. We have this gap here. 0 take away 1 is not 1. 0 take away 1 is not 0. 0 needs help. No help. No help. Go all the way to there. Goes down to 1. 1 here. This can then go down to 9 and a 1 here. This can then go down to 9 and a 1 here. 10 take away 1 is 9. 9 take away 3 is 6. Just a 9. or it's really 900 of course, and just a 1, but really it's 1000, the most significant digit in the calculation. So we get 1969, or as a date, looks like a date, 1969. So if someone said, what year was it? 31 years before the year 2000. It would be 1969. You take away the 31 years and it's 1969. Let's go on to question 14. 4,782 times 4. I'll do standard method in year 5 usually, but of course you can do grid if that's what you like. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 8 is 32. 4 times 7 is 28, plus 3 is 31. 4 times 4 is 16, plus 3 is 19. 19,128. I'm checking over what I did. Okay, 19,128. Let's just check that one. That's okay. Question 15. 5, 1, 6, 5. 5,165 divided by 5. How many 5s in 5? 1, it is 5. So 5 is 5, so it's 1. How many 5s in 1? 0. 5's too big to fit into 1. Carry the 1. How many 5s in 15? 5, 10, 15 would be 3 of them. But that says 16, so there's 1 we didn't use. How many 5s in 15? 5, 10, 15. Exactly 3. I'm counting on my fingers as I do this. And we're on the year 6 level work. Year 6 decimal place value question. Value of the 8 in 0.248. What's the value of the 8? Well, it's not units. Not units just because it's at the end. Not when you've got decimals. Because units comes before the decimal point. Tenths, I'm going to do the little t's this time. Hundredths and thousandths. So it's worth 8 thousandths. This is how you write that. 8 thousandths. Good to practice these spellings. 8 thousandths as a fraction. 8 out of 1,000. And as a decimal, I'll write it under the other number as a decimal. 0.008. Very small, that is. No whole ones and just a tiny little bit, or 8 tiny little bits. That's number 16. 8 thousandths. Now number 17. A lot like number 17 yesterday. If you got to number 17 yesterday, 35 plus 7 and a bit. 35 has no decimal, so I'm going to make a decimal in the end. I'm going to place a decimal in the end. If there's no decimal, where does it go? At the end. Then you can line up the 7.56 nicely. And it's going to be 42, I think. 42.56. 42.56. And we're on question 18. Don't be fooled by question 18. Biggest number goes to the top. 5 is bigger than 1 and a bit. So 5 goes at the top and 1 and a bit goes underneath. 5 has a decimal place on the end. It's just invisible. A decimal point on the end. If there's no decimal point, where does it go? At the end. So we can make it 5.00 take away 1.25. So 5 is the biggest number because 5 is bigger than 1 and a bit. And in take away, the biggest number has to go at the top. Let's do all the workings. You need to do borrowing or taking or whatever you call it. Whatever you like to call it. 10 take away 5 is 5. 9 take away 2 is 7. 4 take away 1 is 3. 3.75. That makes sense. If you know your number bonds, you often see 75 locking together with 25. 3.75 is our answer. Question 19. 3.54 times 2. Okay, well I don't normally put the decimal point until the end. But you line it up almost incorrectly, but it's just the way you have to do it with times. You line it up down the right when you do times, even if it's got decimals, which you wouldn't do on plus, minus or divide. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. And we have 2 decimal places in the question. So we have 2 decimal places in the answer. 3.54 times 2 is 7.08. And question 20. 4,000 shared between 8. Well, 40 divided by 8 would be 5 with 2 zeros. It's going to be 500. But I'm going to check on the bus stop to make sure that it is 500. If it is, I'll be confident I'm right. 8 doesn't fit into 4. Move the 4 over. 8 does fit into 40. 8 and 16, 24 and 32, 40, 5 times. 8 into 0, 0. 8 into 0, 0. So the answer is 500. Looks like a raindrop, that last one. Water droplet. So 500 is the answer. I'll put the answers on very soon. Yesterday, I know, I got my workings correct for question 20 yesterday, but then I flicked onto the answer page, and the answer page was actually wrong, and I didn't notice. So always my workings will be right on these videos, because I redo the video if I get my workings wrong. But I always check, as you see, so I don't usually get my workings wrong. Sometimes there might be a small mistake on the answers, and that's because this is done on a calculator, because it's much faster. But often, as I tell children in lessons, you know, your brain, if you're working on paper and you know what you're doing, you're often more accurate than a calculator, especially if you check. Because a calculator, you press one button wrong, and the whole thing goes wrong and you don't even know. So my workings will always be right. You might get to the answer page and think, oh, that's not what Mr. Saul got. And believe me, I've checked, it will be the answer page that's wrong, but I just can't change it once I've already made the video. Anyway, thanks for listening, and I'll see you again next time.